Hi tribe, and welcome to this new video in which I will continue from last video to show you other kind of drills, but I will mix the drills that I'm sharing with you with the knowledge regarding the human body anatomy. So as I say also in the last video, it's very important that we understand also when we perform a drill, when we apply a technique, when we stab in one zone of the body, because we are talking now about blade combat, what is the effect, how the body of the target will react in that moment. So it's not only repeating something mechanically until we learn that technique automatically and without putting ourselves any question and without understanding what elements stand behind that technique. So knowing some basic, again I repeat, knowing some basic human body anatomy is very important in advancing and growing our skills regarding the blade combat. Before we start, I want to inform you that on my Tactical Combat System Facebook page that has something like 7,000 followers, I received from Facebook yesterday a message in which they announced me that somebody was reporting my content as violent content. So next period of time is possible that they will block this page or also my profile. So for you that are subscribers to this YouTube channel and you want more informations that I'm sharing, and normally I was posting also on the TGS Facebook page. Now you can follow, I have the link in the description of the video. I was opening a Telegram channel where I can share with you more informations and videos with more graphic content, and we can analyze and talk about real cases scenarios, and I can share more information that on this platform and other platforms I cannot, because they are not understanding the idea that I'm sharing this with the people that wants to become better protectors and to improve their skills to protect their lives, their families and the ones around them. We are living in a day where these kind of things that the civilians are learning, combat techniques, tactical medicine, emergency medicine, survival techniques, are representing a danger to the system or to the people that they don't want you to have this knowledge. So I want to continue to share with you my limited amount of knowledge in such a way that we increase our skills and we become better prepared and better protectors. So I split this video in two parts. In the first part, I will teach you some new drills that you can implement in your training, but okay, again, with the explanation regarding the human body anatomy and what it will be the target's body reaction when you hit that particular area. And in the second part, I will teach you how to fix that injuries. Because again, we go back to the same scenario. It's not enough that you eliminate the target if until then the terrorist or the active shooter, or I don't know what kind of scenario, he was able to injure and to produce injuries that can lead to the death of the ones around you or even yourself. So it's very important not only to know how to eliminate or to incapacitate a target, but it's also very important how we can save the lives around us or our own life. Yeah, so having some basic trauma medicine skills is required to be a real protector. But again, I want to underline that this video is not enough. It's not enough that you see a video and tomorrow you will know how to apply all these things. If you want to increase the level of this topic on the, for example, tactical medicine or trauma emergency medicine, you must go in person to a specialized course and learn there, making exercises and learn face to face with your instructor and putting the hands-on work. It's not enough only seeing a video. I only come with this kind of knowledge to open your mind, and if you want to study more, you can enroll yourself, because there are so many professional courses where you can learn these kind of things. I will show you two drills that are regarding the upper body. One is striking to the lungs, one is evisceration method, means that I will thrust with my knife inside the belly, slashing with power in the lateral in such a way that I open the belly and the intestines can exit outside. I want to underline from the beginning that both type of strikes are not shock strikes. As you remember from the last videos that I was making, in tactical combat system, shock strike means a particular area where I am striking and is stopping the aggressor from his initial movements. Yeah. So for example, if my target is coming towards me fast with I don't know what kind of attack, and I am stabbing very fast at the level of the eye, in that moment, from his movement, because the blade is entering with power, it's creating a lot of pain. The reaction of the body will be this, and it's stopping in that moment for a particular amount of time, limited time, from his action. The same kidneys, the same trachea, brainstem. If I am entering with a knife, lacerating the brainstem, cutting there, all the system will shut down. Yeah. So these are types of shock zone, but the lung and this method, the evisceration method, it will not be a shock strike and stopping him in that moment. Yeah. So this you must understand, because when we are delivering this kind of strikes, we are combining them with shock strikes. But why we are combining them with shock strikes? Why we don't give only here? Because as I say, they are not representing strikes that will stop the aggressor there. So if he has an action that put in danger my life and I am only striking at the level of the lung, yeah, that zone, particular area, it will not stop there, so he will continue his movement for a limited amount of time. I will explain to you what is happening there when you stab the lung. And this is the reason why I apply combined with the shock strike, because as you remember, in tactical combat system I have simple and efficient techniques, not complicated techniques, and not too much staying there and giving I don't know how many strikes. I have 1, 2, maximum 3 strikes, but 1, 2 strikes are perfect, and then creating distance, striking fast, striking precise, moving. Yeah. So what I am doing, I am first I will give a shock strike. For example, I am giving you the idea of at the level of the neck, for example, that is creating a shock. So this strike, it will penetrate the trachea, the reaction it will be this kind, and then of course I can deliver the other strike that I want, and it's not a shock strike, but it will put in danger his life, or I don't know, evisceration. So this is the reason why we combine the two, because the first thing that I want to do is stopping him from his action. So I will start now with the first zone that is referring to the lungs. And the most important things, I want to be very short because there are some medical terms and I don't want to insist so much. I have other kind of videos that I was making regarding this topic. I want only the most important things that you must understand. So when I am delivering in the lung, I am entering, penetrating, thrusting with my blade in the lung, or can be also, for example, with the gunshot, it's creating a wound to the lung, to the chest. What is happening basically, my blade, when I'm talking about blade, is penetrating the thoracic box, is penetrating the pleura, and it's entering in the lung. So the pleura is the space that is separating the thoracic box from the lung. So when I am entering and creating this hole, what is happening and is putting in danger the life of the victim, of the target in this situation, it's calling a pneumothorax. Basically air is entering in this space, in this pleura, and it's building there. And this pneumothorax can develop in the tension pneumothorax that is putting more the life in danger, meaning that this air that is building there, it will put pressure on the heart, on the main blood vessels around the heart, on the other lung. The affected lung will collapse, and if it's not receiving special professional medical care, it will lose the life. But this is taking a limited amount of time. It's not happening in that moment. I'm stabbing in the lung and it's falling down, where all these processes are happening in that moment. So it's a process that is taking time. So it's very important to understand this concept that is not a shock strike, because by understanding this, we can also combine it, as I say earlier, with a shock strike. Yeah, very important. If you have this kind of knowledge, you will know what type of strikes you can put in your drills, because there are so many systems that they are making so many strikings to the body, or slashing, or I don't know how much, what kind of combinations, but they are not knowing what is doing that. If you are making to the body, what is the reaction? Because if I'm staying there, I am giving 10 very fast strikes, slashes, but on zones of the body that are not incapacitating my target, it's not helping me with nothing, because he can give only one strike in the right area and it's over. So it's very important to have this basic anatomy knowledge. Another very important thing is to understand that there are important arteries that they are delivering blood to the lungs. So when I'm striking, if I lacerate also these arteries, it will lead to massive bleeding. I'm talking about arteries because in the arteries the blood is circulated with high pressure. This means that when I'm severing them, the victim will lose very fast the amount of blood that it will lead to unconsciousness, or in few minutes to death. Yeah. Also the veins are very important, but we come back to the same discussion. Low pressure is taking more time. What is another very important factor is that when I'm striking, if I'm lacerating this kind of important blood vessels, this pleura that I was talking to you and I was saying that it will be filled with air, there it will be build air, it can be filled with blood, and this is called hemothorax. Yeah. So how you are recognizing this if you have the victim, because in the second part we talk also about how we can treat this type of wounds. It's by when the thoracic box is expanding to breathe and then it's contracting to breathe out. When it's contracting, you will see like blood exiting out with bubbles. Yeah, so that is a hemothorax. So how I access the lungs, I will show you now with the CRKT Obake. It's a very good design that I'm using. I am not sponsored or something, but it's one of my choice everyday carry. It's very good like design, and it's permitting the shape of it to thrust very easy in different kind of tissues. When I want to access the lungs, it's the same when I want to access the heart from the lateral. Yeah, only that the heart I can access it from the lateral only from the left part. Yeah, so if I access the lungs, I can be also on the left, also on the right side, but I must have the blade flat. Why? Because I must access the lungs by thrusting, by penetrating between the ribs, hitting the intercostal spaces and entering in the lung. So if I am putting the blade like this, and especially if it's a bigger wide blade, it's possible that my blade is remaining stuck between the ribs, but by putting it flat, it will enter much easier. So I can access the lung on the left side or the right side between the intercostal spaces. I can access the lung directly, like in the front. Of course, also here we have the same things, intercostal spaces. Here in the middle we have the sternum, so it will be much harder to penetrate directly, and of course that the lungs here are not anymore. Here you can access, for example, if you are coming straight in the sternum and a little bit in the left, you are coming in the heart. But I can access the lung on the left, on the right, between the intercostal spaces is the same, and also on the lateral, and also of course from the back. So it's not complicated if you are maintaining your blade in a lateral position, and of course for this I have a reverse grip that is permitting me to have this kind of direction of movement, and it's permitting me to enter very good between the ribs. So I was changing now my knife with the rubber training knife because I don't want to destroy my training dummy. So I can access very easy the lungs from the lateral, giving a direct strike with the blade flat, entering on the in between the ribs, penetrating the intercostal spaces. Be careful, because in the lateral, if you see, the ribs are coming not straight, are a little bit in diagonal. So also your blade must have a little bit of the same shape in diagonal when you are striking, because if you are striking like this straight, it will happen exactly what I'm saying. The ribs, let's say, are like this, and you are striking with the blade like this, and can be stuck between. But if the ribs are coming like this, and you have the same diagonal shape with the blade, then can enter much easier. In the front, the ribs are coming more straight, so you can go directly stabbing with the blade inside, giving a powerful strike. Can you hit a rib and not enter the blade inside? Depending, of course, of the blade, depending on the power with which you are striking, depending on your precision, and of course, depending on your luck. It can happen that you will hit the rib and the knife will not enter. It can happen that the knife will be stuck between the ribs. But you must also understand that the ribs are not fixed. The ribs are moving, you can expand and contract, especially the lateral ones. So even when you are stabbing, if the knife is like this, and even if you are not very flat with the blade and it's touching the ribs will create space between them, more space, because of the force that you enter with the blade, and the blade will enter. Yeah. So don't think that all the time, because of the ribs, it will be stuck there. So after I was explaining to you what is happening with the target body when I'm striking in the lungs, and you understand that it's not a shock strike, so he can continue his action for a limited amount of time until the strike that I was delivering will create these medical situations that I was saying you, like tension pneumothorax, or I don't know, severing a very important blood vessels and creating this massive hemorrhage that will lead to unconsciousness or in few minutes to death. Then you understand also that if I am making only this kind of strike, it will not help me a lot, because as I say always and I repeat, we use the knife in tactical combat system only in the moment in which we are in a life or death situation. We must apply deadly force to eliminate the target, to protect my life, my family, and the ones around me. So giving only this kind of strike, it will not stop the aggressor there. This is the reason why I will combine it with a shock strike. And basically what we are doing now, I will show you again separately the moves, and then put it with the carry of the knife in the appendix position, taking the knife, creating space, and so on. So basically what I am doing, I am coming with the strike. I will go on the idea of giving a shock strike to the trachea. You remember that I say to you that thrusting with the knife in the trachea, it's a shock type of strike. Only you can test this by putting someone to hit you or to push on you with your fingers in the trachea, and you will see the effects. Then imagine what is meaning that a blade is thrusting your trachea. It will create a lot of shock in that moment, so your reaction of the body, it will be immediately like this. Yeah. So I will choose a shock strike to the trachea, and then fast I am going to the lungs. Yeah. And of course I'm creating distance. So very simple from this position. Again, I repeat, after we make with deployment from appendix position and with movement. Now I'm showing only the striking. So what I'm doing, I'm combining the last exercise that I was showing you in the preview video last time, by hitting with the hand on the level of the head, trying to open the neck. Okay, again I repeat, if you are in a combat situation and your target is in a fighting type of pre-fighting moment, it's in this pre-fight moment, he will not go like this easy, because his muscles, his body, it will be contracted. Yeah, but this kind of strike, one, it will deliver the amount of shock that I need, and also open it a little bit, the neck, the trachea, in such a way that I can thrust. I can come with a knife thrusting at the level of the trachea. So basically I have one strike going to the face, making this kind of movement, going to the trachea, stabbing. I can stab also laterally, I can stab also like this. But as I said to you in the last video, I am also moving. So I'm moving in the lateral position because I need after to access the lateral of the body, to enter, to thrust between the ribs and access the lung. So what I'm doing, I have one giving on the back, moving, thrusting with my knife directly on the trachea. His body reaction, if I'm hitting that trachea, it will be to bring the hands up to his neck. And this is meaning that my part, my body that I need, it will remain open. It can happen to not be like this, of course, yes. We are making only a drill in such a way that we understand different kind of things that are happening to the body in the moment in which we are striking. Again, I repeat to you, drills are having the goal to program our brain to have a response in a real situation, to not remain in that freeze moment, and also, of course, to achieving different kind of things, speed, precision, and so on. Again, I repeat, this of course is not reality. This is only helping like a basic, standard, fundamental training to program your brain without putting pressure, without making different kind of scenarios, without having partners that will oppose resistance and pressure and different kind of other trainings. It will not help you so much. But as a basic, to develop and program your brain to have a response and to understand all the techniques that we are making, it's very important. So again, what I'm doing, striking at the level of the head, giving the head back and thrusting, going at the level of the neck, going with my blade at the level of the neck, giving the head, thrusting at the level of the trachea. I am on the lateral of the body, so after I'm making this, I'm only coming with my blade here. And what I'm doing, because it's between the ribs and it's existing the risk, this risk that I say to be stuck the blade, I will use my both hands. So I'm not having only this finger here, but I'm coming also with the other hand and thrust inside the body. I am entering inside the body with my my blade, pushing all my body inside, yeah, accessing that lung. So again, from here, without moving, then we put it together. I have one strike, trachea, coming, creating this kind of space, and then moving with my whole body inside the between the ribs. So again here, 2, entering at the level of the trachea, penetrating, thrusting, coming near my body, coming with the both hands and entering with my body inside, moving and creating distance of K after. So here, easy. Then we put it together with the appendix position with the movement. So from here, delivering the strike to the face, to the upper part of the face, nose, in such a way that we can create this pressure to open a little bit the neck, and then striking at the level of the neck. This reaction, it will make him to bring the hands up and remain uncovered here. So I have 1, 2, coming with my hand, put it together and entering between the ribs with the both hands, taking out and move. Can I do this movement without the lung, only striking to the trachea? Only this? Of course I can. It's much faster and I can go from there, from the X zone, immediately. I'm already out. 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 But because I want to show you different kind of drills and what is happening to the body, this is the reason why we combine it together. So I have 1, 2 to the trachea, coming with the hands, put it together, enter with all my body between the ribs, create distance. So I have 1 hitting, 2 coming with my blade inside the trachea. Don't forget that I'm also moving in such a way that I'm a little bit in diagonal. And from this strike, the reaction will be to bring the hands up and I remain this part a little bit free. So then what I'm doing after I'm striking with the blade is coming with the both hands together and entering with all my body and with the blade inside between the ribs, take it out and create distance, of course. Very important not to forget the main elements of tactical combat system that all the time I'm saying to you. Awareness. All these techniques, all your skills as a great shooter with your fire weapon, all your skills regarding the blade combat, all your skills regarding your hand-to-hand combat. If you are not aware, will not help you with nothing. If you are not able to identify in time the potential threat, it will be too late. So awareness is number one. Then deploying fast your weapon. Remember that your weapon, it will be all the time in a concealed carry or in an open carry if you are a police officer or you are working in different kind of governmental institutions that are having this kind of open carry. And deploying the weapon is very important because nobody is going with a knife on the street like this. Yeah, you will have it in a concealed carry. Then being able to strike fast, striking precise, knowing this human body or human anatomy, that is very important in such a way that you know where to strike fast and to strike precise. Because if you are having only the skills to strike fast and to strike precise, and you make 20 types of striking and stabbing on the body, but only one, the last, it was incapacitating maybe a little bit the target, until then he can deliver one and it's enough. And then of course the last one is movement. I am striking and move, if I have of course the space. You can be also in a closed room or in an elevator, and that is a closed space for a limited time. So you must adapt new kind of tactics. So again I repeat, from this position, striking to the face, going to the trachea. This is the first technique I was showing you in the last video. It's not changing nothing. What I'm doing from here, striking, coming in the lateral, his reaction, coming with the both hands, thrusting my blade between his wrists, taken out and create distance. So we pass now to the other zone on the upper body that is referring to the evisceration method, meaning that I must thrust with the blade inside the belly and then making a very deep, large slashing movement in the lateral in such a way that all the intestines are going outside. This kind of technique you can maybe know from the samurai warrior clans, that they were performing this ritualistic suicide called seppuku or harakiri. Also, if my penetration with the blade, if I have a large blade, my blade is big enough, I can enter deep enough in such a way that when I'm cutting, when I am slashing with my blade in lateral, I can also sever the aorta. So it's very important blood vessel, and of course it will lead to massive bleeding. Not only the intestines are going outside, but also massive bleeding. It's a strike, it's a shock strike. No, as I say, it's not, because it's not stopping the aggressor in that immediate moment. Of course, if I am here, I am in a closed space where I cannot move back, not creating distance. I am making this method of evisceration. The intestines are going out. but he can still perform, because of his adrenaline, he can still perform his strikes or other things. If I'm moving, creating distance, of course, these intestines, it's impossible that you can continue your fight having your intestines in your hands. Yeah, so very, very useful method, again, if you combine it with a shock strike. So basically, what we will do now, it's the same technique, nothing is changing. If you are remembering, I am telling you all the time that we must keep it simple and we must choose techniques that will have the same pattern. Yeah, the same pattern, meaning that I don't put the brain to learn I don't know how many moves. For the same, using the same movement, I can strike different kind of zones, but applying the same pattern, the same movement. And it's very simple to understand. I was having until now this strike, stabbing the trachea, and then I was coming with the both hand, entering in the lateral of the body, between the ribs, penetrating the intercostal space, accessing the lung. This I do also now, the same movement, striking on the head, penetrating, thrusting the trachea, delivering a shock strike, and then I make the same movement using the both hands, entering at the level of the belly, thrusting inside, and then of course going in lateral, slashing and creating space. So here I was having thrusting inside with the both hands going back. Here is keeping the same movements, only that I am thrusting now the level of the belly and then going deep and slashing in the lateral, horizontal, the belly, open it out, and of course creating space. You must have in your mind how the blade it is, because if you have only one sharp edge, means that that sharp edge must be in the direction that you must after slash. Yeah, so if I am delivering this kind of strikes and now I am mentoring, I must know and learn that my edge weapon must be orientated in the exterior in such a way that when I am cutting now, I can slash with the blade. If I am not thinking of this and I am entering with the sharp edge directed in the other part and I want to slash now, I cannot, because here is not cutting. So very important things. So this technique, when it's done correctly, it will diminish the capacity of my target to fight. Yeah. So again, I must not explain to you, having your trachea thrusted, the blade perforating, penetrating your trachea, and also your guts having outside is not, of course, possible anymore to continue the fight. So again, what I am doing, striking is the same technique, coming at the trachea, coming with the hands again together, entering at the level of the belly with the both hands, thrusting as deep as I can, and then going in the lateral, slashing all the belly and creating distance. Yeah, it's a technique that is requiring a little bit of time to stay there, so it can be also dangerous, because I make this, then I'm here, entering here, and then all this movement, I must slash in the lateral, but also my body, because if I'm remaining here and I make only this, my body position, the biomechanic is not permitting me to have a very strong, my arm is in this position to cut, because you have a lot of things that the blade must slash. Yeah, these tissues is not so simple. So by remaining here and make only this, it will not have the same efficiency. This is the reason why I am entering and I am moving with all my body. But when I'm moving, I'm also in a very nasty position in which he can deliver his strikes. Yeah. So have in mind all these things. Even if you are making fast, of course, after, if this it will go, deliver this strike, it will be fast. And it will be this shock, you will not react in that moment. But again, you must have in your mind and understand what are the vulnerabilities of each technique. So again, I'm having one, striking, going with the both hands, entering at the level of the belly, slashing, going back. This is the reason why I need a shock strike. Because if I am going only here, entering inside and want to do this, I am in a vulnerable position. It's not a shock strike. Because if you are thinking that somebody wants to stab you now with a knife, you will have this kind of reaction, and you will try to avoid by moving your body. But you are in a fight, and you will put that blade in a fight as a surprise attack. And because he has adrenaline and all these changes are happening in the body, it will not have the same effect like you being now and I'm coming with the blade towards you, because you will want to move. You are very close, and your deployment, it will be very fast and like a surprise. So if you are entering directly here, entering in the body, you are very close of him, and he can also deliver the strikes. Yeah, this is the reason why from my deployment I am going first to the triangle, striking there, going first to the triangle, then coming together with the hands, slashing the belly. So my first strike, it was the important one. That can be also enough if you want to make only this. Like I said to you, I make only this and I move it. But we combine different kind of techniques to understand better what is happening if you are making this kind of strikes. So 1, 2. Again, when I deploy my knife, I repeat to you, it's not this. I am coming here until here, and I stop my hand here, and then I'm coming with the other hand, catching the knife and take it out. Because by doing this and stopping here, I already stopped my hand from the movement. So again, I must make another movement to go to the hand, and this it will be too slow. So what I am doing is, already my hand is going with the idea of striking to the face. So I'm taking my shirt up, and only when I'm catching the blade already the hand, it's liberating the shirt and it's going on the direction that I was having in my mind, that he's striking the target. So I'm not making this here, 1, and then 2, strike, and then 3, because it's slow. I'm going already with the idea of striking the target and then coming with a knife. So I have 1, 2, coming here, entering at the level of the belly, thrusting, slashing, going back. Okay guys, this was the first part. Continue now please watching the second part, in which I show you some basic knowledge regarding the trauma emergency care, and especially about how to treat these open chest wounds if you have victims that were shot or stabbed at the level of the chest. And also, if you want to expand your knowledge, I put the link in the description. I have the civilian trauma response course, 2 hours of training materials regarding these kind of topics. And of course, if you really want more, you must enroll yourself in a real physical course to increase your skills. Thank you very much, and continue to watch the next video. Now about the application of the chest seal. I have here a hash vent chest seal. We apply a chest seal all the time when we have an open chest wound. If we follow the March algorithm, we start with M, massive hemorrhage. So we perform different activities to stop the bleeding that is putting the life of the victim in danger. Tourniquets, wound packing, direct pressure. We pass to A, airway. This means that we clear the airway of the patient. Can be a jaw thrust maneuver, can be other kinds of techniques to open the airway, can be the insertion of the NPA, or maybe already the victim has a good airway. Then we pass to air from respiration. We check for every hole into the chest victims. It's considered wound to the chest, all the part from starting from the neck and also to the abdomen, to the belly. Why? Because the bullet, if it's entering at the abdomen zone, on the belly zone, the stomach zone, it can enter inside, change trajectory and perforate the pleura and entering in the chest cavity. So also, if we have a wound here or starting from the neck to the belly, we apply a chest seal. Very important to remember this. So we identify the chest wound that is marked here with red until we take and we open the chest seal. We put pressure, or if we have another bystander, we put him to put pressure on the wound. We are opening the hash vent chest seal. It has two marks showing you where to open it. Inside the chest seal we have a gauze, so after I'm taking the gauze, whipping the blood from the wound, continue to put pressure, and then this is the chest seal. I'm taking my hand now only to show you. Repeat all the time, put pressure until close the wound until you have already prepared the chest seal for apply. So this is the chest seal. It's coming like this. I'm getting it from the both sides, opening, and then I'm coming and put it exactly on the wound. The wound must be in the middle of the chest seal. When we have an entry hole, check also from an exterior, an exit hole. So I'm twisting the victim and checking all the time in such a way that I'm seeing that it's not having also an exit wound. If he has an exit wound, then also on the other side, on the exit wound, I will apply a chest seal. It's very important to reset all the time the patient, the victim, because many times after you put the chest seal, the air that is built inside can lead to a tension pneumothorax, and you will need to perform a needle decompression if you are qualified, of course. The chest seal has 6 veins, special design in such a way that if we have a hemothorax, meaning that blood is exiting from the wound, it will be veined on these channels. Yeah, this is a vented chest seal, but there are existing also occlusive chest seals. So meaning that they will not have these veins that blood can drain outside from the wound. When you put an occlusive chest seal, you must have in your mind that the patient can develop a tension pneumothorax. So after you identify the potential signs of a tension pneumothorax, if you are not having a special kit that I will show you after to make a decompression of the tension pneumothorax, you can also take the occlusive chest seal and burple. Means that I am opening and let the wound free for a few seconds, then I am putting it back. So this technique is permitting the air to exit from inside. Yeah. So again, I am catching it. If it's an occlusive chest seal, few seconds, putting back. When I'm making this, when I open it, it must see air with bubbles like exiting from burple from the wound. Okay guys, thank you very much for watching this video. Don't forget to subscribe to my new Telegram channel, Tactical Combat System. I have the link again, I say to you, in the description of the video. There I post other kind of materials with videographic content, with real footages that I cannot post on Facebook or on this platform. Stay safe and train smart.